All right, Animate Works just released an awesome new helicopter, the AW315 Lama. I'm here with the creator, Sal Firegurad, to discuss his awesome new flying machine. How are you doing today, Sal?
Not too bad, Luke. How about you?
I'm doing really good now that the work day's over and I'm in here having some fun.
There you go. That's always the best.
Oh yeah. So this helicopter is really impressive. I got to fly it yesterday and just fell in love with it. So tell us about how you came to build this.
Well, it's a helicopter that both Pat Lawson and I really do love from real life. It's one that holds a special place for us. It's a rescue helicopter primarily, but it's built by Aerospatial in real life, and it's used primarily in rescue work in the Alps, high altitude work, but it's used all around the world too. Now it's kind of in an end of life now, in real life. So it is a vintage bird, but a lot of places still use them. One of the big ones was Erzermatt in Sweden, and they did a lot of rescue work in the high altitudes of the Alps.
Okay.
But they also did package delivery to places that, homes that didn't have roads connected to them, businesses throughout the area. They did logging. It's been used for firefighting, a lot of roles, and it's a very good medium lift helicopter. In fact, this is the second version that we've released. The first one was land-based, and it did have a sling, just like the real ones. It could lift the load and even carry it across borders. But it's one that has a lot of multi-use capability in the real world, and one that's pretty impressive to look at and watch in action. So it's something that really held a kind of a high point for us. Today's world of fiberglass helicopters that, everybody's after that aerodynamic shape, and
Yeah.
this isn't that by any means.
Right.
You get to see the inner workings of the bird because everything's pretty exposed. But for second life, it's a helicopter that can seat 5. You can use the crane. You can use the floats on this new version now for water work. And, it's something that serves a lot of roles here in second life as well.
Yeah, cool. So I know you've been working on this for a while. How long did it take you to come up with this one?
Well, we actually started this in 2014, a little over a year ago. And Pat and I both kind of decided this one was going to take a little bit of time to do. Basically, we wanted to fulfill some things that we had in mind. Number one, new scripts from ground up. Second of all, I wanted to work on the physics shape for Second Life, because physics do play a very important role in our scripting and how the bird reacts. And we also wanted to watch and see how mesh was turning out as far as server weight was concerned, and how to reduce that so that we could get the best possible border crossings. During testing, we've flown this bird for several hours at a time on many occasions, with quite a few testers, as a matter of fact, without any hitch. Now, it's not saying that you still can't find a bad border somewhere.
Oh yeah.
It happens. But compared to past birds, we cross borders for hours without ever having a problem.
Yeah.
And that is a huge thing here in Second Life.
Yeah. That was one of the things I wanted to say about it after I flew it yesterday, that I was impressed with the sim crossing capabilities of it. So, yeah.
Well, just like with our other birds, I mean, we test them on all continents and try to find some of the worst possible situations. You know, I hesitate to say, but I've even gone to the adult continent, which is so over-scripted that it's not even funny, and tested there.
Yeah.
You know, if you can fly there, you can fly anywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we've done some grid flights there. In fact, we just had one a couple of weeks ago, and it was bad in places. But yeah.
Oh, it's usually bad everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay, you've what about you? I mean, you've kind of said some of the features of this machine. Can you tell us the sling, floats, and
Well, sure. In
Yeah.
fact, let's start with a couple of simple things. I
Okay.
mean, one of the things that I wanted to do was give a little bit more automation to this helicopter, because a lot of people really want to, you know, have that in their helicopters, whether they use it or not. One of them is auto collective, so that it'll maintain an altitude, at least under a certain speed, it'll maintain an altitude without you having to sit there and fiddle with the collective all the time.
Uh-huh.
We also did auto leveling. So, you know, if you get a little out of shape and you need to bring it back to level and get a nice hover out of it, you just hit a key and it'll do it for you, which is great for the new pilots out there.
Yeah.
But also, if you're working in sling operations, we find that sometimes that can be helpful.
Right. Yeah.
You know, not everybody's an expert at these,
Right.
so we
Okay.
want to give those options.
It takes a lot of practice. I mean.
Well, sure, and we do go to a more realistic extent than most of the helicopters in Second Life. You know, where you actually have to control your speed and your collective at the same time to maintain, you know, the direction that you're going,
Right.
and still maintain the altitude that you want.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's that. We worked a little bit more on the high altitude stuff with this bird. Before, we had a high altitude mode where you could run it out of skyboxes, but that failed in some cases, and we wanted to upgrade that. Of course, there is the sling, and for people that don't understand helicopter terminology, a sling is a crane. The helicopter becomes the crane to lift loads. Now, you can actually create your own loads. We give a script that you can drop into it so that the helicopter can pick that load up.
Oh, nice.
But we also provide some loads that, you know, people can use right out of the box. We did provide a nice model that could be used at airports. It doesn't have any scripts in it. You know, we feel that that's kind of important, because airports tend to, well, have problems because of all the scripts that are running.
Right.
And this gives people a way to display their birds in their hangars the way they want.
Yep.
We try to give a desk model. You know, it's a really reduced size model. Now, there's still a lot of prims, but, you know, some people like to proudly present it in their office and things like that. But we also try to update all the parts of our scripts. Now, for those that are familiar with real flight scripts or Animate Work helicopters, they're going to know a lot of the features of the helicopters. But we probably got one of the most extensive in-flight scripts out there. And you can start simple, but everything's right there in the note card or in a help screen. We have things like auto rotation, which is very unusual in Second Life, where what that does is it simulates if the motor would shut down or break while in flight, you can actually land a helicopter just using the pitch of the rotors to bring it back in. Of course, you won't have the power to move somewhere. You're going to have to do it just like you were flying a glider, for instance, although a very heavy glider in helicopter's case. One of the other features that we worked with is people can actually skydive from this helicopter.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you put your parachute on, open the door, stand up, jump out. And it doesn't affect the in-flight. Now, of course, the pilot can't skydive, but all of their seats have that ability.
Mm-hmm.
In the back, it's a little cramped, of course, because of size limitations in Second Life. If you got a huge avatar, well, you might stick out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it will seat 5. And that's kind of unusual for Animate Works birds because we've always been 2-seaters.
Mm-hmm.
But, this gives a little bit more adaptability for everybody.
Yeah.
We did come up with brand new sounds from ground up. And, of course, Pat is an audio engineer. And he went out to hear the real thing and recorded it.
Awesome.
And, yeah, he got the pilots to run it up for him, run it down, different things like that. And he came up with a beautiful sound set that is a real sound set for this bird.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say about it after I flew it yesterday. That I was really impressed with the sounds. Very realistic.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, again, we did take a little over a year to put this one together, and this is part of why. I mean, we wanted to get everything just right.
Yeah.
It's our favorite bird, and, that's important to us.
Okay. So where can people buy this?
Well, we have a store at Real Flight and at Animate Works, and I can give you links that you can include with the video. Mm-hmm. You can also get them on Marketplace, so they're readily available.
All right.
And a lot of the airports around have affiliate vendors. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I need one too, so.
Oh, I'll make sure you get one.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Hollywood, a very popular airport, has one. Jim's Place over at Montbard has one. They're all over. Cheerleaders Airport and so on.
Right.
So
yeah.
Most of your big popular airports will have them, and if they don't, they can contact me at any time to get one.
Yeah. So, well, anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to tell us?
Well, I would like to tell a little bit about our team.
Okay.
A lot of your viewers will know me and Pat, Pat Lawson. Mm-hmm. We've been around for years doing this, but we also have a great team of beta testers, Marcus and Senia, Serena Lexington, just to name a couple. And, everybody on the team is part of this team. I mean, an actual part where they dig in and they give 100%, just like Pat and I do. And a couple of them are real pilots from real life that have flown helicopters. So we have their feedback, trying to get this right. We spend a lot of time making sure that this bird is well balanced and has the feel of a real helicopter, at least as close as you can come in Second Life.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice the bird behind me, I've got it painted in my color scheme. The birds all come in black and white. Okay, and we do provide a template with it. That template is set up for Photoshop or GIMP, and it's layered. So, you can remove features, add features just by turning the layers on and off. You can also go ahead and paint your own scheme. It's got a nice wireframe mesh on the template layer, so you can follow along and know exactly where you're painting. And it's probably one of the biggest things with my customers right along is the ability to paint their own in their own scheme without having to ask somebody to do it for them.
Right.
If they've got a paint program and they want to dive in, the template's listed right there in the note card so that they can go grab it and just have fun. I've seen some wild paint schemes and some really fantastic work. People. In fact, I even show them off in my shop. If somebody sends me a picture of what they've done and it's worth putting on the wall, I hang it there.
Awesome.
I love seeing what people do. It's very impressive to me.
It is.
what I've got behind me here, that's a pretty simple paint job, but, you know, it's one that if you see it, you're going to know it's me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Very
the whole
unique.
idea.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, anything else?
The big things are, to me, the flight ability. You know, the fact that this is brand new from ground up. You know, there's nothing that come pre-built. I don't believe in using other people's models, and Pat doesn't believe in using other people's scripts or sounds or, you know, everything about this bird is built for this bird by us. And, you know, if you don't like it, well, that's fine too. I mean, but we try to give you something that's unique and something that nobody else has. And I know there's a lot of time spent on this bird, which a lot of the builders don't want to do. I mean, obviously for profitability reasons, because let's face it, the amount of time that we've spent on this bird, it can never be, you know, made up for by Linden's or even real cash. Right. I mean, the bottom line is we do this out of love. So, you know, and because of that, we want to make it the best that it can possibly be.
Yeah. Yeah, we really have to look at it as a hobby, I think, you know, and that we do it because we love it and we want other people to love it.
Oh, you betcha. You know, one of the things that I think the audience will find most impressive is actually seeing it in flight. What do you think?
Yeah.
You
I
want to take her up?
I think we ought to take her up. I'm ready.
Okay, now as soon as you see the control panel come up on the tail of the bird, if you're watching from the back or from the dashboard, if you're in mouse lock, you're going to be able to have control of the bird. And we're just going to take the collective up to 55, where it's going to be a basic hover. It's just starting to lift off now. And then as you add collective and forward motion, you're going to be able to pick up speed. Now the bird has some nice features as far as turning ability. If you use shift in your cursor left and right, you can do a slow bank turn like I'm doing right now. Or you can go ahead and just use your cursor and turn it quickly. Now if you add a little bit of backwards pitch, your cursor down key at the same time, well, you can get that turn to be quite quick. Or slow that down and smooth it out just by adding a little forward pitch. Looks like they've been busy expanding this airport.